Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and if you've seen Wonder Woman, you probably noticed the new DC movie intro, featuring the members of the Justice League, plus a ton of missable characters from DC Comics. And what's really cool about this is Warner Brothers and DC Cinematics saying, yo, we have a ton of amazing characters in our comic book universe, and we're bringing them all into our movies at some point, so hold on to your butts. So in this video, I'm gonna go through this intro and identify all the characters that I noticed and explain how they might play into the movies currently on DC's schedule, or movies that are still in development, or just rumored, or in my own wild fanboy fantasies. So one big thing to point out at the top during this montage that actually kind of parallels the Justice League animated series intro. Yeah guys, Green Lantern Hal Jordan is part of this. So this is a big deal. When Warner Brothers announced the Justice League movie and released that poster, a lot of people were wondering why Green Lantern wasn't part of this. I mean, maybe they figured people are still recovering from the 2011 Ryan Reynolds version. I mean, I know it's still a sore subject for Ryan Reynolds.
And please don't make the super suit green or animated.
Meanwhile, others were asking, where is Martian Manhunter, who along with Green Lantern was also part of the original Justice League lineup? I mean, not that many people were asking about Martian Manhunter, but yeah, you know, some were. Anyway, it doesn't matter because now this whole DC family is back in this new intro. So let's comb through this big lineup and point out who everyone is, at least the ones that I can make out. Okay, so in the center we have the main DC Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, flanked by the rest of the Justice League, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg. This is the Justice League that will be in the upcoming Justice League movie in December. And if you look closely, the proximity of nearby characters might be a hint that we could see those people make cameos in Justice League as well. So soaring over them is Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and standing to the right of Aquaman is John Stewart, Green Lantern. For those who don't know, Green Lantern is really like a title, so there have been a bunch of people with that position, and several others show up in this clip. I'll get to them later. But before that, look at this figure behind Flash. This kind of looks like the comic version of Darkseid. Now, he's the major villain who's probably behind the conflict in Justice League, and even if he doesn't show up in the movie Justice League, all of these events are heading towards a big showdown with Darkseid. So I'm predicting that we will see Green Lantern and Darkseid appear in some form in Justice League, either like a surprise cameo during the movie or maybe in a post-credit scene. Now, after Justice League, the next movie on DC's schedule is Aquaman, planned to release a year later in December 2018. And in addition to Aquaman, over on the right is his queen, Mera, his brother and villain, Ocean Master, and another Aquaman villain, Black Manta. Now, Mera will appear in Justice League. She's played by Amber Heard. And Ocean Master and Black Manta will be an Aquaman solo film played by Patrick Wilson and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Okay, another big film on DC's list is The Batman, a solo Batman film starring Ben Affleck. Now, Affleck originally wrote the script and planned to direct, but he stepped down, and now Matt Reeves is taking over as a director, and it's scheduled to release sometime in 2019. Now, remember, Affleck posted a picture a while back that teased that Deathstroke will be in The Batman, and he's gonna be played by Joe Manganiello. And Deathstroke actually shows up in this intro. He's over here on the left. Now, other than Deathstroke being in it, we don't know too much about The Batman, but I could see a few of these other nearby characters showing up in it. For example, on the right, you can see Harley Quinn with her signature mallet, and the Joker, and even further down, someone who looks like Mr. Freeze. Now remember, there's also a sequel to Suicide Squad that's in the works, along with a Harley Quinn spin-off movie called Gotham City Sirens that's gonna be directed by David Ayer. That movie's rumored to have Harley leading a group of female DC villains, and one of those could be Catwoman, who we see over here on the left next to Flash. It could also be fun to see Catwoman showing up in The Batman, we'll see. But one Batman character who's kind of hard to see here is Nightwing. DC actually announced that Dick Grayson Nightwing is getting his own solo film too, with Chris McKay attached to direct. He directed the Lego Batman movie. Okay, zooming out a bit here, some more characters from upcoming DC movies start to appear. There's Shazam and Black Adam over by Catwoman and Deathstroke. Now, Black Adam is the anti-hero and arch nemesis to Captain Marvel, Shazam, who I think is the figure next to Deathstroke. Maybe this is his alter ego, Billy Batson, who's also visible in front of him, like he's in the process of transforming into Captain Marvel. Now, Black Adam will be played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's actually supposed to appear in Shazam, which he's also producing. And that movie is scheduled to come out April 2019. Now, around this time, we're also supposed to start seeing solo films for The Flash and Cyborg, but both of those movies are still very much in development, and I'm guessing we'll know more about those when we see how successful Justice League ends up being. That goes for Justice League Part 2 as well. We might also see a sequel to Wonder Woman during this time, but the studio is reportedly still going over the details with Patty Jenkins about that. But one thing that does sound confirmed is that in 2020, there is another movie in the pipeline, Green Lantern Corps. I'm super excited about this movie, especially after seeing this intro because so many of the Green Lantern characters show up in it. Like besides Hal Jordan and John Stewart Green Lanterns, there's also the villain Sinestro, Jessica Cruz, Collywog, and Green Lantern Mogo, which is a sentient living planet, which is why he's so freaking huge here. Also, this guy in red looks like it could be Atrocitus. He's another supervillain from the Green Lantern comics. He's also known as the Red Lantern, and he's always like super pissed off. So I'm really hoping that this guy shows up in the Green Lantern Corps movie. Now, the last announced upcoming DC movie that I'm excited about is Batgirl, and that kind of looks like her over on the left. Now, Batgirl is going to be written and directed by Joss Whedon. He's the genius behind the 2 Avengers movies and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, Joss Whedon has also apparently taken over directing Justice League while Zack Snyder takes some time off to deal with the family tragedy. So yeah, that's sad news for Snyder and we wish him the best, but it's good to see that the future of the DC movie universe is in such good hands with Whedon in the meantime. Okay, I know this has already been a ton of characters, but I'm gonna quickly run through and point out any other possible sightings, and heads up, some of these might be a bit obscure to you. Okay, first there's an appearance by original Justice League member Martian Manhunter. I think that's him standing behind Harley Quinn. There's also a few familiar heroes from the CW Arrowverse. There's Supergirl, Green Arrow, and maybe Firestorm and Vixen over on the left side. Now, there aren't any firm plans to bring these characters into the movie yet, but we'll see. Like, DC doesn't seem to have an issue having 2 versions of the Flash, so it's possible. Also, on the very far left is the upcoming CW hero Black Lightning. His solo TV series is set to debut in 2018. Now, on both sides, there is Hawkgirl and Hawkman, both of whom have appeared in different versions of the Justice League comics or animated series. And this bald guy to the right of the Joker might be Lex Luthor, which would make sense. They're the arch enemies of Batman and Superman, respectively. And the big guy behind Nightwing looks like Swamp Thing. He has one of the weirder origin stories of the DC comics. He's huge and made of plant materials. Meanwhile, another spooky figure is over here, Solomon Grundy, a villain who's a reanimated corpse. And the little figure flying above him looks like it could be Bumblebee from Teen Titans. Now, everyone else on the right side is a little too tough to make out. So for now, let's pan back over to the left. Now, this massive looming figure, based on his size at least, could be the Spectre. He's a godlike, vengeful spirit of police officer Jim Corrigan. But to be honest, this is kind of a shot in the dark. But in front of him look like a few familiar faces from Suicide Squad. I think that's Enchantress there, and then Captain Boomerang, and that might be Deadshot behind Batgirl there. And the 2 flying figures up there could be Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. They're a couple, and they're both new gods with powers similar to that of Superman and Wonder Woman. Now, it's cool to be reminded that DC has access to all these amazing characters, which makes me wonder, which of these characters do you want to see in their own solo films? Which ones do you want to see in their own TV series? And are there any that you just want to see make little cameos in Justice League Part 2? But another deeper question, what do you think are some other ways DC could go other than following something close to Marvel's universe building model? Like, instead of these Avengers-style team-up franchise movies, what if DC took a more anthology approach with these characters? Like, see how Batgirl and Nightwing do as their own solo films, where these heroes are dealing with their own specific problems rather than worrying about the extended universes. Like, I would love to see a world where DC doesn't try to compete with Marvel, and instead of world building, just give each of these amazing characters their own independent films or short-run standalone anthology series. I want to know what you think. Comment and let me know how you would tell everyone at DC and Warner Brothers how to do their jobs. Who knows, maybe they're reading YouTube comment sections. Now, I'm determined to identify everyone in this picture, and if you're with me on this mission, please like this video and share it around. Let's get on this, people. And subscribe to New Rockstars to see me and others obsessively break down every other DC property into its most interesting missable details. And you could be more a part of our team here by contributing to us on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our current donors, especially Kenny Smith. So tweet at me with any other DC characters that you spotted in this, or any thoughts you have about the DC movie universe. You can also follow New Rockstars on Twitter at New Rockstars for updates on our videos. Ooh, wait, I think I just spotted another character way in the corner there. Okay, zoom in. Oh my God, that's me. What the hell? I'm a hero.